Hi everyone, I'm Michael K. Semio. Thank you for joining me tonight. The piece I'm reading is called The Invisible Cost. It's a story about identity and the silent toll we often carry when we're taught to push through no matter what. As a young athlete, I believed success meant showing no weakness. I wore that belief like an armor, but over time, the weight, it became hard to carry, physically, emotionally, and psychologically. This story didn't make it into my memoir, Course of Reflection. But in the same world, and in many ways, it sets the stage for everything that followed. So tonight, I invite you into that world, into the world of one of the quieter truths behind the stat lines and the game day lights. The invisible cost. I had been here before, pushing through something I should have respected. But this time was different. This time, it wasn't just my game that was changing, it was my identity. There's a difference between getting hurt and being injured. Every athlete learns that early on. A jammed finger, a twisted ankle, a bruised hip. These are badges of effort, normal. You didn't set out for those. You stretched, you taped, you played. But what happens when the hurt lingers? When it becomes something chronic, something structural? What happens when the body begins to fail you? Not in dramatic moments of collapse, but in steady, silent protests. My back was the first warning in high school. It started as tightness, deep, hard to reach, easy to dismiss. I was growing fast, training harder, and carrying expectations like weight plates across my shoulders. No one could see the pain unless I said it out loud. And even then, what did that mean? To say my back hurt felt like weakness, an excuse. So I didn't say it. I learned how to play through it. Over time, the pain became its own routine, part of my pregame warm-up, part of my sleep schedule, part of my emotional wiring. It wasn't just my back anymore. It was me. The athlete who stiffened up on the bus ride. The player who bent forward slowly when tying the shoes. The competitor who had mental armor up before even stepping onto the floor. But I was still performing, still excelling, still convincing everyone, including myself, that I was fine. In truth, I had become over-identified with the game, with the idea of being a tough player, someone who never sat, never flinched. That identity became the mask I wore, even as the body underneath slowly deteriorated. Then came college, and with it, the ankle. It was a serious injury. A single wrong step changed everything. The ligaments didn't just tear, they unraveled part of my future. The explosive first step that had been a part of me since childhood was now compromised. My fitness, my rhythm, my edge, gone or at least dulled. The injury didn't just take away my movement, it took away something harder to name. Belief. I fought hard to return, rehabbed, iced, and fought again. But something had shifted, not just physically, but emotionally. I was now playing a different game. Not basketball, but preservation, survival. Every play was measured against risk. Every step carried memory. And emotionally, I began to detach from my teammates, coaches, even from my own body. I didn't trust it anymore. And in moments of silence, I didn't trust myself either. Because when you build your identity around being the reliable one, the one who delivers, who never misses practice, never asks out, when that identity breaks down, what's left? The truth is, I didn't know. I only knew the game. I only knew how to press on. What I've come to understand years later is that playing through pain carries an invisible cost, not just the body, but the psyche. It deteriorates your sense of worth. You stop evaluating yourself as a whole person and begin measuring yourself in fragments: minutes played, stats posted, tolerance endured. You become addicted not to the game itself, but to the feeling of pushing through, as if endurance alone is virtue, as if showing no pain is failure. No one taught me that explicitly, but everything in the culture of sport implied it. When the body breaks in a way that won't come back, when your ability to perform becomes uncertain or diminished, it's not just grief you feel, it's disorientation. If I am not that, then who am I? This is what no one prepares you for, the moment when the uniform still fits, the court's still there, but the game feels foreign. When you look in the mirror and see someone who is trying desperately to hold on to what made them special, what made them seen. In the end, I did play through it. I found moments of brilliance again, flashes of the player I used to be, but they didn't feel the same. And eventually I stopped chasing those moments and started chasing something deeper, understanding. Now, as I revisit those years, I no longer see the injuries as interruptions. I see them as revelations. They revealed what I was carrying emotionally and how I was defining myself. And I was afraid to lose. I was afraid to lose the boy who needed more than applause or stats. The boy needed space to heal, but physically and emotionally. Perhaps most of all, they revealed the truth. Pain doesn't make you weak. Denying it does. Thank you for listening to The Invisible Cost. If this story resonates with you, I'd love for you to join me on Substack, where I share more reflections, behind-the-scenes insights, and essays connected to the journey I explored in my memoir. You can also find Before the Line, my prequel, available now in print and digital. This is more than reading. For me, it was a reconnecting with the boy I was and the man I became, and with readers like you who might see part of themselves in these words. Thanks again for being here. I hope to see you again soon.